From the Government Center in downtown Atlanta, you're watching Fulton Today with Shania Chavis.
Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis. South Fulton taxpayers asked for the county's help in persuading the Fulton County school system to leave its headquarters on the south side. A packed room full of parents attended a county town hall meeting where parents got up close with the superintendent. FGTV's Jolene Butts-Freeman has our story.
When South Fulton residents reached out to their district commissioner about the school board's plans to move its headquarters to Sandy Springs, the Board of Commissioners quickly responded.
The motion to approve passes, 5 yeas, 0 nays.
The commissioners approved a resolution urging the board to first solicit input from the communities and the families impacted by the decision. And citizens got a chance to do that when Commissioner Bill Edwards invited the school superintendent to a town hall meeting.
The thing that's most important, our children are at stake.
With so much at stake, the South Fulton commissioner says he had to let the public voice their concerns.
I think the meeting went pretty well. We're leaving the meeting with 3 objectives tonight that we'll come back and discuss with the school board. But I think that gave the community something they didn't have the opportunity to do, and that's a public hearing. There was no public hearing on this issue and never has been.
So this meeting in South Fulton was the first time parents could formally express their concerns in front of school board members and the superintendent.
And then when I heard about the business with the Sandy Springs office for the school board, and it's this big building, you know, it's like they're going to spend all this money on it, you know, compared to where they are now. And I can understand where they might want a better facility, but it just seemed like one more step in the direction of splitting these two communities. One wealthier and predominantly white, one predominantly black, and lower income for the most part. And it's where I live.
And what they're doing right now is they are reinforcing that perception by this alleged move going to the north side and having meetings in Sandy Springs. And even though they say they have not actually made a decision, the fact that they've even contemplated such a decision is what really disturbs me, that they would even think about having all of the meetings on the north side.
The school board superintendent says the district's population has changed, and the move to consolidate administrative offices will save the district an estimated $22 million.
So the moves involves consolidating some of the functions. I believe from an efficiency standpoint, bringing those employees together that do the day-to-day operations is an important one, but still understanding that we'll have a south outpost and a north outpost that will give community members access to the people that they typically have access to, like area superintendents, like learning specialists, in case, you know, students get in trouble, behavior specialists, etc.
However, South Fulton parents and citizens say the closing of 5 of those facilities in their communities will have a negative effect on its children and economy.
If you have a child, and even if you don't, please get involved with the school system. Even if you don't have a child in the system, 50% of your tax dollar is going to the school board. That affects your property values, that affects economic development. It affects everything in our community, so we all need to get involved some way.
Just days after the county's town hall meeting, the school board had its regular scheduled meeting, and the board decided to continue having board meetings in both North and South Fulton and to hold more public meetings on the move to Sandy Springs. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Jolene Butts-Freeman.
Thank you very much, Jolene. Now, the Fulton County Commissioners are not done with this issue yet. A formal letter has been sent to the school board in addition to the board's resolution. Now, some board members want to know if the decision to move the building was made within the school's guidelines. School officials made a presentation to the Board of Commissioners at its regular December meeting. We'll take a look at what happened next week on Fulton Today. Meanwhile, speaking of kids, juvenile court helps to give a number of local kids a family just in time for the holidays. And a popular sportscaster joins in for the annual celebration. Ernie Johnson Jr. of Turner Sports served as guest speaker during the 12th annual National Adoption Day ceremony. Johnson is the father of 6 children, 4 of them adopted.
With adoption, sometimes sometimes you're dealing with kids who have been forgotten and kids who will not get another chance. And what you're trying to say is, hey, look, this is your forever home.
There are nearly 7,000 children in the foster care system in Georgia. About 1,600 of them are waiting for a forever family. Juvenile Court's Chief Judge Bradley Boyd is here now to talk about the importance of creating these families. Your Honor, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
And let's start there. Let's talk about the importance of providing these children with a family and the consequences when we don't.
The difference between finding an adoptive home, a forever home where a child can belong and have a forever family, and a child who simply leaves foster care with no such family in place is huge. The outcomes for children who don't find that home are, across the country, have been shown just not to be nearly as hopeful as the children who find adoptive homes, and that it makes a difference in terms of possible further involvement with the courts, homelessness, education, emotional issues, relationship problems. All of those are significantly different for a child who has found the forever home and those who have not.
And adoptions go on year-round, not just on National Adoption Day. What's the process?
On any given day, once a child goes through the process of through the courts where they've been found to be deprived, where efforts may have been made to reunify the families and provide services to bring the family together, and where those finally are determined not to be hopeful or successful, then a proceeding is brought to terminate the parental rights of the child and free them up for adoption. Once that is done, then there is a significant amount of home study and paperwork and evaluation of adoptive parents. First, of course, we have to find adoptive parents, so there's some significant efforts going into finding adoptive parents. And then the child lives with those parents for the minimum of 6 months so that that can be evaluated. Finally, then a petition for adoption is drawn and it's brought to the court.
And Judge, what would you say to families considering adoption?
If you talk to families that have adopted children, and personally myself, I have adopted children in my family, and now I have grandchildren because of those adoptions. You'll find that not only are you giving a gift to the children, but the children that are adopted give immeasurable gifts to you. Your life is enriched. You learn things, you get things from the children that are adopted, and it is a challenge and a blessing and something that makes your life real.
And sir, before you go, tell everybody your favorite part of the program.
It's hard to tell. Every year something happens, sometimes unexpected, that just sticks in your heart. I have had groups in this office that have come in to support a friend who's adopting a child, and at the completion of the adoption we had 25 people burst into song in the office. I've had children burst out crying just from the emotion of the long wait coming to an end. The favorite part is obviously seeing this journey come to an end, this last mile being traveled, and a child finally coming to that forever home. But there are things that just seem to happen every year out of the blue that just emphasize how important and how significant these days are.
Juvenile Court Chief Judge Bradley Boyd, always great information. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Now, if you would like to learn more about becoming a foster parent or adoption, you can call 1-877-210-KIDS. That's 1-877-210-5437, or you can log on to the state's website. It was a one-stop shop for young people interested in careers in law enforcement, and it was sponsored by Fulton County. 19 agencies were recruiting at the 4th Annual Criminal Justice Law Enforcement Symposium. It's held each year on the campus of co-sponsor American Intercontinental University. The federal agencies represented included the Secret Service, FBI, and the Postal Inspection Service. The Fulton Marshal and Police Departments, as well as other local Metro Police Departments, were also on hand.
Basically, we're looking for someone with good communication skills. We're looking for serious people.
The AIU students appreciate a chance to meet and greet law enforcement professionals. The theme of the symposium this year, emerging challenges facing law enforcement. And the good news for students, all agencies are recruiting. After months of training and bonding, it's graduation day for county inmates and their new best friends. 5 canines and their handlers have successfully completed the Sheriff's Office Canine Inmate Program.
I want to say thank you, Ms. Susan, for giving me this opportunity, and to thank all the volunteers and the trainer for making me a master dog trainer.
The sheriff started the program earlier this year as a part of a partnership with the organization Canine Cellmates and the County Animal Control Services.
The advantages for a program like this are that we're saving dogs. We temperament test all the dogs that go into our program, and we intentionally look for those that probably would not make it out of the shelter otherwise. So it's safe to say that all the dogs in our program would ordinarily have been euthanized and not have ever left animal control.
With the help of volunteers from the Canine Cellmate program, the dogs live and train with the inmates for 8 weeks before graduation.
What you've shown us that you can care, you make a difference, and as the Colonel said, we're not going to give up on you.
The program started with 10 dogs, 4 have been adopted. Now, if you would like to see dogs available for adoption, go to the website on your screen. Holiday food boxes were delivered to several local families in need. Each basket was filled with a turkey and all the trimmings. There's enough food in each basket to feed a family of 4.
Well, years ago, Sheriff Jackson, when he came into the sheriff's office, he tasked community outreach with getting out into the community and doing a lot of things. And this Thanksgiving basket drive was one of the things that he really wanted us to push. He wanted to make sure that we get out in the community and help those who are in need.
The sheriff's office selects the families on the recommendation of neighborhood churches. And still to come, it's a meet and greet for the new county manager and residents. We'll have that story and more in our district by district coverage next.
You're watching Fulton Today.
MARTA's new GM makes a pit stop at the FGTV studios, and the county's new manager meets some South Fulton residents for the first time. Here's this week's district by district coverage. District 2 County Commissioner Rob Pitts is happy to say farewell to the Georgia 400 Toll Plaza. The plaza was officially closed on November 22nd following a promise made by Governor Nathan Deal. In the 1980s, Commissioner Pitts led the charge to bring the toll plaza to the city when he was an Atlanta council member. The tollway was completed in 1993 and has funded numerous improvement projects. Commissioner Pitts made the plea to both Governor Sonny Perdue and Nathan Deal to end the tolls once the state's bond debts were paid off.
Right at the end of Governor Perdue's term, they were about to have a conversation about it. I went over there one cold morning and was joined by then Senator-elect John Albers, and I was pleading my case to Governor Perdue. I said, Governor, we made a promise to the people back then, and it's so personal to me because it was my amendment that these tolls have to come down. We have to stop collecting that money.
The toll rate for most cars was 50 cents. State transportation crews started working on the transition plan in July 2012 after the governor announced a decision to end the tolls. Meanwhile, District 5 seniors get into the holiday spirit. The participants at the Harriet G. Darnell Senior Multipurpose Facility enjoyed their annual holiday gala. With food and entertainment, the faithful Darnell members highlight what a good year it has been for them and the facility.
Really, the first thing I'm thankful for is life. Without life, you can't do anything, but I'm so thankful of my family, my children, my grandchildren. They're so wonderful, and I am thankful for the Harriet Darnell Center.
Darnell has so many things to offer you. I mean, from the moment your feet hit the floor till you get in bed at night. There's something that Darnell is always doing.
We are so grateful to the staff and to the participants and the entire community for this opportunity they've given us to come together tonight with the children. Children have always been a top priority in this community and throughout this county.
The Darnell facility is on Fairburn Road in Northeast Atlanta. Plans are already in the works for events and programs for 2014. You can call the facility to get information about joining in on the fun. District 6 Commissioner Joan Garner welcomes MARTA's CEO to the set of the district. Keith Parker is the guest on the Commissioner's monthly TV program here on FGTV. The GM was joined by MARTA board member Fred Daniels. The transit system's general manager gives an update on the state of MARTA and forecasts what's ahead for 2014.
In December, for example, we'll be adding more service to our rail service, as well as and some enhanced bus service along selected routes. Our customers, thankfully, will not have to endure another fare increase through this year or the next year.
Parker also discusses his recently launched initiative called Ride with Respect. The program is aimed at addressing some of MARTA's most common rider complaints, like loud music and disorderly patrons. You can check out the district all this week at 1:30, 4:30, 7:30, and 10:30. All times are AM and PM. And finally, District 7 Commissioner William Bill Edwards hosts his final quarterly listening session of the year. The South Fulton Commissioner used the opportunity to address the county's proposed budget for 2014. Staff from Finance reviewed the numbers for next year and explained what services are mandated by law. Residents heard firsthand that some service modifications may be inevitable for 2014.
I wanted to know whether or not they was going to cut the policeman service budget, the fire department budget, EMS budget. I want to make sure that none of those important services to help protect my family and my home would be cut, and I'm glad to find out that's not the case.
I'd like to see more police officers, and that way the neighborhood would be much more safer. That's what I'd really like to see.
Before the listening session began, residents had a chance to meet Fulton County's newest manager, Dwight Farrell. And when we come back, how to keep your holiday happy and bright. Stay with us.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Portions of the following segment are part of the Fulton County Common Ground Initiative. Common Ground, the county's comprehensive solution to the problem of health disparities in the community.
Endless images of the picture-perfect family during the holiday season can give many the blues. So in this week's Common Ground report, we have some tips on how to avoid what's called seasonal depression. Dr. Sultan Sims is the medical director of Fulton County's Behavioral Health Services, and he is back now with some advice. Doctor, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Thank you, Shania. This is a very important topic we're covering today.
So, sir, why is it that so many people feel so bad at a time when we're supposed to be feeling a lot of joy?
Well, the holiday seasons are a time usually of family and friends, and many times it brings back memories of the past. So for a variety of reasons, people may become sad. They may start to think of loved ones who have passed away. They may start to focus on broken relationships, or they may miss some of the good times that they've had in the past. Their current circumstances may have changed. So for a variety of reasons, the holidays arouse a lot of different emotions.
And I understand that there are physical, not just emotional symptoms of the holiday blues.
Well, absolutely. When someone gets anxious, sad, depressed, commonly they may complain of headaches, nausea, upset stomach, back problems. There's definitely a connection with the mind and the body, and many times a person's physical health can be affected by their emotional health.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, what's the answer?
It's really important to take a step back, ask for help if you're feeling overwhelmed. Understand that the holiday is really about enjoying time with others more than some of those little things that we get wrapped up in. So really try to take a step back, take a deep breath, focus on your health, and ask for help if you're feeling overwhelmed.
And doctor, what should people do if they feel like they're going into a full-blown depression?
If someone finds that they're going into a full-blown depression, and really what does that mean? Maybe a person finds they can't get out of bed, they're starting to feel fatigued, they're having crying spells, they're feeling withdrawn. In severe cases, they may even have thoughts of not wanting to go on with life or thoughts of harming themselves. It's really important during those times to reach out to someone, to some of those support networks that they may have in place, and to ask for help. help is available, whether it's through some member of the community, someone, a family member, a church member, a counselor, a psychiatrist. There are a variety of people you can turn to. So really accepting that there's an issue, something that requires some help, and reaching out for that help.
Dr. Sims with Behavioral Health Services, always great information. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thanks again for having me.
Now, the Behavioral Health Division of Health Services can be reached at 404-613-3675 or online at livebetterfulton.org. If you need immediate assistance with acute sadness or depression, please call the Georgia Crisis and Access Line. The number is 1-800-715-4225. From depression to diabetes, health professionals set aside some time to bring awareness to this worldwide epidemic. Fulton's Diabetes Community Action Coalition just wrapped up a number of workshops like this one at the Washington Park Library branch as a part of an awareness campaign.
In Fulton County, we have nearly 250,000 residents who are at high risk for developing type 2 diabetes because they have prediabetes or what was known borderline diabetes. In addition, we have approximately 48,000 Fulton County residents walking around who have type 2 diabetes and don't know it.
Coalition co-chairs Pat Jackson and Vicki Carnes were armed with a list of 50 ways to prevent type 2 diabetes and asked those in attendance to commit to just one.
Type 2 diabetes can be prevented with a small weight loss, increasing physical activity to 150 minutes per week. That could be 10 minutes a day, 3 times a day, 5 days a week.
World Diabetes Day is actually marked each November 14th. Here are some symptoms that may indicate that you have type 2 diabetes: increased thirst, urination or hunger, blurred vision, unexplained weight loss, cuts or bruises that don't heal, or tingling, numbness, or pain in the hands or feet. You can contact the Coalition or the American Diabetes Association to learn more. Another U.S. cabinet official makes a stop in Fulton County to talk about the health insurance marketplace. Transportation Secretary Anthony Fox stopped by the Central Branch Library, where he was greeted by county and health officials. Fulton's libraries have served as a venue where residents can get firsthand information about the various health plans.
Well, I'd just like to make sure the folks in Fulton County know that they've got an opportunity to sign up for health care. And what Fulton County and your MARTA system are doing are strengthening the points of connection by creating 91 centers across this area where folks can come in and get one-to-one assistance in helping them get signed up for the Affordable Care Act.
Well, there is such an intersection between transportation and access to health services, so it was delightful to have Secretary Fox visiting Fulton County and sharing how transportation, the Affordable Care Act, and enrollment opportunities are going to be made available for the constituents here in Fulton County.
U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius, who is in charge of implementing the provisions of the Affordable Care Act, has visited twice in recent months. In October, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack paid a visit as well. Secretary Fox thanked Fulton for actively working with the administration to help people obtain health care insurance. Now, for more information, visit healthcare.gov or call the 800 number. And still to come, want to unleash your talents and creativity this year? We'll tell you where you can go when we come back.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Getting students help with their math lessons is now as easy as 1, 2, 3. The OC Branch Library is offering free math tutoring. The county has partnered with volunteers from the CAST program to help the students in grades K through 8th. There are 3 math tutoring sessions scheduled this month on the 8th, 15th, and 22nd at 2 p.m.
Parents should bring their kids and their kids' materials, anything we can help them study with, whether it be homework, projects, or even past tests that we can help them go over.
I just
like helping people in general, as in, since I sort of know math and I'm able to succeed in the classroom, I want others to succeed as well.
Students are helped on a first-come, first-served basis. To get information, call 770-360-8897. And finally, online and on-site registration begins this week for the 2014 Winter Arts Class Sessions. There are a variety of class offerings, including dance, theater, and painting, just to name a few. The 6-week sessions at the County Art Centers begins on January 14th.
It's very easy to register. You can come in any of our 4 art centers around Fulton County, or you can register online at www.fultonarts.org. For Fulton County residents, they only need to bring their Fulton County ID to get the Fulton County resident rate.
Again, to register for the arts classes online, visit fultonarts.org and create an account. You can also see the full list of class offerings on the website. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to hear from you about the stories and programs right here on FGTV. Go to our website to take a survey, or email or call us. The number 404-612-8317. The email address is fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. You can also follow us on twitter.com/FGTV, friend us on Facebook, and watch us on YouTube. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.